Hi, welcome to another edition of WCM Supplier Showcase, and we are chatting with Steven Kramer, the CEO of Campground Support, which is a newer company it's kind of a call center company. So I guess Steven, just explain a little bit about how you got started in this and why you guys kind of launched the company, I guess.
Yeah. Hi Ben, how are you?
Good.
Good. So I am a RV park operator.
Okay.
I manage a 180 space park in southern Utah, and I'm in my eighth year. And a couple years ago, I thought of the idea because although we're a full year-round park, the seasonality nature of the industry had been a challenge for me because there were times throughout the year where we would get three, four, five phone calls a day, and then other times in the year where we would get over 100. So we had to utilize work campers, which had been great to us. And then we had to deal with the hiring, training, termination of the seasonal employees. And as you know, sometimes if you hire a work camper, it over the phone you take a chance, and they're taking a chance, and they drive across the country, and sometimes it just doesn't fit with kind of um, um, your goals with the park. So it may
Yeah.
not work out. You're taking a big risk. So I told myself, man, there's got to be another way. So that's how I came up with the idea for campground support. So we can help campgrounds and RV parks, capture reservations. And we're a call center and a reservation center. So
Yeah. What I guess, just out of curiosity, people out there might want to know, I guess, what's the name of your park that you guys own in Utah, and how long
Well,
have you
he's a
owned
very
that?
private person, so the owner
Okay.
is. So I have to respect his privacy.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think the park owners out there definitely connect a lot more with people who own and operate parks too. And it sounds like you have an interesting story as to how you came up with this business. Here, we're going to share the screen so people can see it. So it's Campground Support, and you take reservations, I guess. So what's that look like as far as on the reservation side? Do you guys work with a lot of year-round parks? Do you work with seasonal parks, and you maybe take the reservations while they're closed as well?
Yeah, so we do both. Every single RV park in this industry has is seasonal to a certain extent.
Yeah.
As I said before, there are year-round parks where you don't need more than one person in the office during the slow season. So another advantage to full year-round parks is being able to extend your office hours,
Mhm.
and especially during the peak season. You've got people that are still on the road, and if the wife is looking for a site that night and they're kind of tired and they don't want to go all the way to their final destination, they may want to stop, and it could be 8, 9 o'clock at night where we're getting phone calls. Hey, do you have a spot tonight? Um, and for the parks that are fully seasonal, where they're closed in the winter, we're actually taking a significant amount of reservations. What we're seeing since COVID is people are planning further in advance. It seems like, whereas before they were planning 2 weeks, 3 weeks before, and now they're planning months in advance. And a lot of the popular parks that are fully seasonal and closed in the winter, their busy season is very full already. So
Yeah.
it's important to start capturing those reservations in the winter as well.
I think in the industry, I think we've seen a lot of focus on getting, your reservations online. Do people still use, phone to make reservations?
That's a great question. They do, and I'm fully transparent with our park. And every other park that we're seeing, the reservations that come in online are the most significant, which is even more um, shows a need for our service because the days are done where you're going to need six people in the office answering phones. The reservation systems um, have done a really good job of making it easy for people to book online, but they're still 55 plus significantly prefer to book over the phone, and
Yeah.
groups
Okay.
are a huge one that we have had several people call, and they booked with us because we answered the phone, and they were significant group reservations where they've got four, five, six people that it's just a little bit too complicated for them to do online.
Yeah. So how does this work? So like say I'm a park owner and I contact you guys and I want to use your service. I guess is there a method to how you connect to my phone lines? How long does that all take to get set up?
Yeah, so we can connect with parks usually within 48 hours, depending on what
Okay.
service provider you have for your phone.
Yeah.
Um, we can connect. It's basically the way it works is we set up call forwarding. After a certain set of rings, it will then forward to our reservation center.
Okay.
At which point we utilize your existing reservation software. We're added as a very limited user. We don't need access to your reports. Really, the only thing we need access to is to take a payment and make a reservation. And some parks also have us doing a little bit more, which is changing reservations um, and obviously, some campers have a lot of questions. So during onboarding, there's a park intake form where we
Okay.
collect about 15 pieces of information where we can store it in our proprietary program that allows us to answer questions as if we're an extension of your office. And our
Okay.
goal during that phone conversation is for those guests to not know that they're speaking to a call center. And my goal with that was, I have not had good experiences with a lot of call centers where either they're outsourced out of the country, or you could tell that the other person on the other line are not knowledgeable of what you're asking them. And our
Yeah.
goal was to be fully knowledgeable and answer all of the questions that people may ask.
Yeah. So I guess what if it's another kind of call that's coming in? Do you guys pick up those calls? Like let's say somebody's calling uh to get some wood or something. I don't know. How do you differentiate between a reservation phone call and like another phone call that might be coming in?
Um, some of the parks have a IVR or phone tree, or there's a
Okay.
lot of different terms for it, but where they've got it set up where you press one for new reservations. Some parks do not. So our goal, though, is to handle the guest the best that we can.
Hmm.
So we really don't care which call comes in. Our biggest priority is just handling it and answering the questions as if we work there.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then I what's the cost look like on this? Is this like a contract situation? Is it month to month? I guess what is a park owner looking to invest in this kind of service? I guess.
Yeah. So our services are month to month at this time. And the goal with that is, try us out for a month. Let's see how we do. We're going to have a handful of questions throughout the month and at the end of the month, because all the parks are so unique,
Mhm.
whether it's a plethora of amenities. Some of the sites can be a little quirky.
Yeah.
Um, and it does require that the software is 99% accurate, where we don't have any problems entering rig length, and so there's not a lot of room for error on our part. So
Yeah.
um, and then our pricing model is per minute. So you're literally only paying for the work that we're doing.
Okay.
And that's another value from our company, is that you're not paying us for downtime like you would for a employee. You're literally only paying for um, the work we put in for you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And then I noticed, just doing some research before this video, you guys are beta testing a remote manager at a few parks. I guess, what does that look like? Like, what's that coming down the line, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, that's another great question. We actually are working with a park in Alabama. They've got um, a um, a few parks
Oh,
where it doesn't make sense for them to hire someone year round, where they want us to handle everything, and that includes screening month to month. We don't like to make the final decision on the month to month. We kind of allow that flexibility for the owner,
mhm.
but we can literally do every other job duty that they can, and that includes if there are service and maintenance. We can have an inquiry system where if someone has a problem, we will communicate with the on-site staff or a vendor immediately to let them know of anything that they need to address, and basically do everything that a front desk agent can. And for those parks that are 20, 30 spaces, that may make more sense financially to do that than have someone, kind of sit there and, 80% of their day is not being productive.
Yeah. I get, you're a fairly newer company. I guess, obviously you've worked with a couple parks at least. What's been the reaction so far from the parks that you've worked with?
We're having a lot of fun. It's it, the fun thing about our side of the business is we get to learn more about different parts of the country, and like we've got a park in Michigan that's 380 spaces.
Yeah.
Got a ton of amenities. They've got a mix of seasonal, daily, weekly. So that's it. We can handle quite a bit of complex parks, and that's the challenges that we enjoy, because at the end of the first month, the owner was super, super ecstatic about our services and decided to retain us. And the another unique park that we have is a horse camp in Kentucky.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of have each range there, and our services can fit really with whether you're a big park or a small park. Our services make sense for most of them.
Yeah. So I guess, obviously you have the website campgroundsupport.com. How else would people get in touch with you? Can they find your contact information on the website?
Yeah, that would be the best way. We have our phone number posted on the website, and we work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So give us a call. Our email is on there, and shortly we're going to be doing some more kind of short videos and kind of getting our name out there to show our services. So you'll see those, I'm sure, come through emails and social media. um, so
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at, is kind of a growth stage, and we're just trying to help out as many parks as we can.
Yeah. So on the social media end, can they find you on Facebook or LinkedIn, or what platforms are you on so far?
We're on LinkedIn primarily.
Okay.
We will be doing Facebook and Instagram. Our goal initially, since we just launched in November, was to kind of scale slowly and make sure that we kind of work out the kinks. And we're at a point where we're ready to scale because we have worked out all of our kinks and everything's. We've got a great system and everything's working properly now. So pretty soon we'll have a Facebook, but we do have a campground support LinkedIn page that you could find as well.
Okay. Well, it's been great talking with you, Steven. And again, this is Campground Support. You can find them at campgroundsupport.com. And I mean, it sounds like a fascinating service that you guys provide. And I'm sure there's a lot of park owners out there that would be excited to potentially not have to answer the phone as much. So, but thanks for coming on, Steven.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.